up, nah, I ain't a quitter. Toss me the ball, I'm a really big hitter. Big picture, I'm a straight killer. Rising the song to the highest bidder. Got juice, got gas, I'ma move fast. New shoes, new tracks, like who's that? I'm new, come back, better than last. Yeah, it's a new me, never gonna look back. Never gonna look.
All right, welcome back into the Madden 12 Colliders franchise. We are in year 4 and we are in week 5 as we have completed the first quarter of the season and we're 3-1. We'll be hosting the Culver City Krakens this week, who are undefeated. But before that, at every benchmark or good stopping point in the season, I want to check the stats and just kind of see how everything's going. So we'll do some standings and some player stats. All right, just quickly run through. The Kansas City Smoke is 4-0. The Sioux City Scrids are 3-1. DC Crabs 2-2, as are the Maryland Meerkats. In the AFC West, the Beachmasters, who defeated us, are 4-0. The Tiki Pineapple Bikinis, who we just beat, are 3-1. NFC North, the Marauders are undefeated at 4-0. In the South, the Krakens are undefeated at 4-0. That's our next opponent. In the East, the Marshfield Pirates, your defending Super Bowl champions, are 3-1. And in our division, we are tied with the Battery for 3-1. Obviously, we won the opening game against the Battery, so we hold the tiebreaker for now. But winners of the division the last 2 years, they're not going down easy. Winners of 3 in a row. All right, so now let's take a look at some player stats. All right, we're just going to look at the NFL stats. So passing, Ahmad Mark, the rookie, is leading the league in passer rating with 110.3. What a turnaround from what we've done in the past with quarterbacks. This is the first year we've had one that can play a little bit. Mark also leads the league in total passing yards. He is third in passing touchdowns behind Jerome Page and Connor Gillespie. And Dylan Perry and Jason Hunt are leading the way in throwing interceptions. Longest pass of the year was Ryan Hall's 80-yarder. That was against us, obviously. And Brennan Tushaus has been sacked 17 times. Of course, we're right up there with Ahmad Mark's 10 sacks. Completion percentage, Ahmad Mark leads the way in that category too, completing 65% of his passes. All right, and then there is average yards per attempt, and look at this guy's name. He's a quarterback named Bryce Cordopassi out of California. So he's got pass right in his name. That's why he's leading in that category, although he's only 3 for 4 on the year, so obviously a backup. Ahmad Mark, though, let's see. He's the first one that probably has enough attempts to qualify, and he's at 9.4 yards per attempt. Ahmad Mark is also leading the league in yards per game at 247.2. So Ahmad Mark is balling out. Jabri Thomas, who lit us up, is leading the league in rushing yards with 673. This guy, Gerald McGrew, he was an incredible rookie. He's got 517 yards. I just want to show you Gerald McGrew. Drafted 4th overall. He's an 87 overall with 97 speed, 93 agility, 94 carrying, and 96 trucking. Just an unbelievable talent at running back out of South Carolina. Then we have Moses Vaire, who had a good game against us, as most running backs do. And just there's kind of some of them. Mark Lasker's in there. Jabri Thomas is averaging 8.3 yards per carry. Matt Hardy, he's a second-year man out of Alabama. He's averaging 7.7 yards per carry. He's a 92 overall. And Jabri Thomas is also leading in touchdowns with 8. Brian Harris is on the case with 5, but he's probably going to stay there for a while. We'll have to check the injury report. Joe Brown is a corner who's fumbled 5 times, so he is obviously a kick returner, but they ought to replace him. Gerald McGrew has 19 broken tackles. Man, I wish we had drafted him, but we're never drafting 3rd or 4th overall. And Matt Hardy has a 99-yard run Jabri Thomas has a 95-yard run. Thankfully, that was not against us. Zach Myers has a 95-yard run, and Jamel Brand has a 90-yard run. Let's check the receivers. Okay, a lot of guys here at the top with 24 receptions to lead the way in receptions. That's about 6 per game. Receiving yards, Morgan Montoya is in second place in receiving yards. Now, he's a guy that has never eclipsed 1,000 yards receiving in his short career. And he is leading the way in average yards per reception. So Morgan Montoya just needed a good quarterback, and then he could let loose. Jared McKenzie, he's that tight end from the Battery. What's he got? 94 yards per game. And leading the way in touchdowns, we've got our man, Morgan Montoya, tied for first with 4 receiving touchdowns. Montoya is leading the league in yards after catch, and second place in yak average, which is pretty impressive for a wide receiver. Antoine Waters and Antoine Saunders are leading the way in drops. Take a look at how these Antoines are spelled. Antwaun, Antwuan. So, little switcheroo there. Longest pass was Joe Miller. That was against us, obviously. This is my least favorite stat because we never get credit for pancakes, even when I witness them. We only get credit for sacks given up. So, that's unfortunate. Okay, we'll also never really be in the running for tackles. But how about TFLs? Any of our guys there? No? Wow, there's guys with 7 sacks already. We have been very slow to build our sacks up this year. So our defensive line is not really very disruptive yet. 87 interception yards for Elisha Wright, 74 on that one play. Marco Hicks, he had that 73-yarder against who? That's right, us. That was the one we lost the game on, pick 6. Elijah Wright's leading the way with that 74-yard return. Janeo Hopkins, batting passes down. All right, Zach Patterson got a safety against us. And a bunch of guys with touchdowns. That was against us. Just one, though. So no one's really going crazy yet. Jamel Walker had one for us. All right, Brendan Seacrest is leading the league in field goals made. Benton Cannon, he used to be on our team, but doesn't have the leg that I like. He's in second. We've got 2 C. Perrys. 2 Connor Perrys. That is also crazy. Here's why that's crazy. They both have 3 years of experience. So that means they were both just the auto-generated guys on the cupcake teams. So they had 2 kickers with the same name. Weak sauce. Not a lot of Andy Gary up there because he's only got 7, but he's got 100%. Field goal long. Andy Gary has only been asked to do a 53-yarder so far. Okay, Trevor Scott has 14 extra points made, so it looks like the Cleveland Battery are lighting it up on the scoreboard. So I like this kickoff touchback thing because really, I'm the only guy that can get it into the end zone for a touchback. Blake Sisk did it probably against us, but other than that, no touchbacks. All right, we don't punt that often because I feel like our punting average is up around here somewhere. So our net average, our net average is 44.2 and our average is 53.6, but we're not getting credit for the average because we don't have enough punts. But our punter is leading in both of those categories. All right, all we care about are kick return touchdowns. Gerald McGrew, man, that guy's good. Jesse Mack and Albert Nichols. How about punt return touchdowns? Brent Lawrence, Daniel Johnson, Tyree Palmer, and Jason Dunn. All right, and those are your stat leaders. All right, we are hosting the Krakens. They are undefeated, so let's take a look at an undefeated roster.
Roster breakdown.
All right, at quarterback, they've got Tyler McNulty, a mere 81 overall. Halfback, Jamel Brand, 85 overall. Niall Kilgore is an 81 overall. And Leonard Miles is an 84. So far, their offense doesn't seem particularly impressive. Blake Harrell is a 75 overall out of Georgia. Then you've got Daniel Johnson. He's a rookie out of Ole Miss. Morris Howard, Joe Lewis, a rookie out of Cal, and Marshawn Buchanan. Tight end, Bram Patton. He's a 90 overall, so he's pretty good. Let's look at the offensive line. Deontay Kirby, 92 at left tackle. Case Thomason, 92 at left guard. Offensive line's looking pretty solid. DJ Russell at 89 overall. Right guard is Victor Johnson, though he's hurt, it looks like, 87 overall. But Casey Ash, an 86 overall, can fill in ably. Jarveris Randall is their right tackle at 89 overall. Left end, Cy Collins, 80 overall. Right end, Renardo Willingham, 82 overall, though he's hurt. I wonder if that means we'll see 39 overall, Kayshawn Finley out of Clemson. Come on, man. I hope this guy is playing. 53 speed, 75 strength, 55 acceleration, 41 awareness. Let's see if he can tackle. 47 tackling. Just run it left every play if Kayshawn Finley is playing. In the middle, Tyrell Hall, 78, and Tommy Harris. There's a blast from the past. He's a 77. Left outside linebacker Jarrell Whiteside's an 87 overall. Middle linebacker Eddie Let Him Cook. He's already at 89 overall out of Alabama. Let's see. He must have been a first rounder. Yep, first round, 14th overall. 89 overall with 87 speed, 92 awareness in his second year. Wow. 95 tackle, 85 block shed, and 88 hit power, 87 play recognition. He's going to be a problem in the middle of that defense. Brent Baldwin is the backup. At right outside linebacker, another Alabama guy, Josh Jackson, and he's an 88 overall. Man, he was also drafted in the first round, and he was the Defensive Rookie of the Year last year, 29th overall. So two Bama backers drafted last year in the first round by this team, and he's got impressive numbers as well. Okay, so linebacking core is solid. So they put all their effort into defense, it looks like. Pedro Sexton is the corner, although it says he's injured. We'll have to check on that. Patrick Thomas, LaBreece Hardy, Leonard Stanley, and Trayvon Saunders. At free safety, we've got Tyler Mack, a 93 overall. And at strong safety, Andrew Jones, 94 overall out of LSU. He's a captain, and it looks like he's injured. He was drafted 6th overall in the 2012 draft. And, yeah, he's a monster. 99 awareness, 94 overall, 89 speed, 89 agility. Zone coverage is not as high as you'd expect, although he is a strong safety, 77 hit power. But we might not have to worry about him. We'll check the injury report. And then you've got Marty Johnson, Marty, the one-man party at kicker. And Chris Heart of Glass is the punter. And that is the roster for the Krakens. We are also going to make a couple of changes on our team in the starting lineup. First, we are going to switch out Sean Arnold for Carlos Rich, the rookie, because Sean Arnold hasn't done anything yet. And I don't think Travis Taylor's really doing or Travis Thomas, I should say, is really doing a very good job in the middle. So we're going to give that back to Jaquez Price and see if his name pops in the stat sheet a little more. We were getting the most tackles from that position in prior years, and that is not the case right now. All right, so let's do it. All right, we had two players of note go out in the last game. One was our rookie wide receiver, Brandon McNair. We didn't get a report on him, but the other was our running back, Brian Harris, and it said herniated disc, so I'm a little worried about what we'll find on the injury report. Ron Lewis still out 3 weeks, and oh no, Brian Harris is going to miss 10 weeks with that herniated disc. So we're going to have to see the backup Will Davis, a rookie, I think out of Oklahoma. Krakens have a lot of guys. Andrew Jones, their outstanding strong safety, will miss this game. Victor Johnson will miss 3 weeks. Tyler McNulty out for 7. Pedro Sexton, their best corner, is out for 11 weeks. And their right end, Renardo Willingham, placed on IR. So I'm guessing we won't see that guy that's like a 47. They'll probably just use a backup left end. But, man, we should have some opportunities, although their linebacking core is still really solid. And that is your injury report.
Ladies and gentlemen, on your feet and welcome your home team.
All right, welcome into Proton Park for Game 5 of the 2014 season, where the Batavia Colliders will host the Culver City Krakens. Andy Gary will kick this one off to the Krakens. That one's going to go to the end zone, as it usually does, down for a touchback. So their starting quarterback is actually injured, so we're going to see blast from the past, Terrell Pryor. He gets that one out to the fullback, Kilgore, and he is stopped by Ronald Taylor for just a 1-yard gain. Oh man, that was Carlos Richin at left end who just let that little floating duck go over his head for a completion. Pryor will hand to Jamel Brand, and that's Jake Jones coming around from the right end side to tackle him. Gain of 2. 2nd and 8. Terrell Pryor will hand to Brand again, and Brand is stopped by Elisha Wright. That'll make it 3rd and 4. They'll go back to the well, and he will get the first down, tackled by Preston Mahan. New set of downs for Terrell Pryor and crew, and let's remember these guys are undefeated. Play fake, and he's got Bram Patton, the talented tight end, a 90 overall, way downfield, and they're moving the ball, and here's Brand, and he is stuffed by Ronald Taylor. Pryor somehow gets through there, and that's a first down. He bounced off a couple of defenders. Ugh, that was real annoying. All right, 1st and 10, they're inside the 20, and here comes the rush, and he's not able to get it away. That one intended for Morris Howard, doesn't get there though. 2nd and 10, Pryor goes to Brand. Brand runs over DeMarcus Coleman, but can't get by Jake Jones and Elisha Wright. So 3rd and 10, Pryor will throw for it, and he is nailed. That is Ronald Taylor just flying in there. And they're going to have to settle for a field goal attempt. The kick is up, and it's good. And the Culver City Krakens, hey, look at that. He's having some Gatorade. I don't think I've ever seen that before. A helmetless Ahmad Mark watching as the defense gives up a field goal. All right, so 3-0. Phil Brown returns this one to the 26. And Ahmad Mark will get to go to work. And that is just sailed over the head of the running back, Phil Brown. So kind of from a play calling strategy, that linebacker core is really good. So I think I'm going to try to put a lot of receivers on the field so that they counter with fewer linebackers, because that is definitely the strength. Their corners aren't as good. So if I can just spread them out, and maybe we only get Eddie Cook in the middle. That guy's such a beast. But the right and left outside linebackers are also very good. So anyway, that strategy didn't work on the first drive as we punted. But I think that's kind of the move. The only problem with that is that Ahmad Mark makes his living on the short passes, the slants, the screens. Not a really good deep thrower, and not great accuracy on the boundaries. So this plan may not work, but we will give it a try. All right, Jamel Brand is starting to exercise his dominance, but there's Alexander Williams pushing him back. Brand is breaking a lot of tackles already. So 3rd and 1, Terrell Pryor, that one is batted down. Looks like Centennial Cheeseboro was on the spot. And Chris Glass will punt this away, and hopefully it goes into the end zone, and it does. So another attempt at a drive, and here is Will Davis, the backup for Brian Harris, getting 3 on the outside. The wide receiver Montoya was not able to hold his block. And Mark throws a pretty good slant pass to A.J. Muse. They'll go back to Will Davis, the rookie out of Oklahoma. He's got 5, and he's up to 4 yards on 3 carries. So, struggling. Brandon McNair gets into the act with a 3-yard gain, and now it's 3rd and 2. And they'll give it to Will Davis, and he is stopped for a loss. That'll be 4th and 4, and given the field position, Ahmad Mark's going to go for it. Gets it off to Pahodie, and he's shy of the sticks. So Ahmad Mark is 3 for 5 for only 17 yards. So they're struggling against this really good linebacking core. And here's Jamel Brand. He picks up 5. He's already got 41 yards rushing. Terrell Pryor operating out of the shotgun, changing the play. He's a 71 overall at this point in his career. And there's Centamuel Cheeseborough batting that down, intended for Leonard Miles. But come on, Cheeseborough. I don't think you have any interceptions this year, just a bunch of passes defensed. Oh no, Harrell just mosses those guys. He jumps up in double coverage. That is Blake Harrell out of Georgia, second-year man. I think he's only like a 75 overall, but here he's going against DeMarcus Coleman and Preston Mahan, and they both jump at the wrong time. How are you going to let Terrell Pryor, of all people, throw a long touchdown pass against you? I've noticed that his passes are just like soft lobs, and we just can't get to him. It's very frustrating. All right, down 10-0 early to the Krakens. Here comes Phil Brown. There's less than 2 minutes left in the half. Let's see if they can at least get on the scoreboard. Going deep for Morgan Montoya, and he's got it. He beat his man. And Morgan Montoya putting them into field goal range at the very least. Mark to throw again, and that one is batted down, intended for Anthony Pahodie. And they'll throw for it again. Pressure's coming. They get the screen pass off to Will Davis, and he's got a lot of room to run on the left side. That's going to make it 1st and goal from the 7. A fake to Davis, and they pass it out to Broussard. I think he was in, but they're calling him out of bounds. It's not worth challenging, or I don't even know if I can. It's less than 2 minutes. Here's a slant play. A.J. Muse for the touchdown. Beat his man off the line, and the crowd here loves it. A.J. Muse, the second-year guy. He's out of Texas Tech, I believe. So, here he is, slant, perfect placement, and yeah, we've got to attack that secondary because running the ball is not going to be very effective against that linebacking core. We don't want to have too many sets where they can put all 3 linebackers on the field. It's definitely their strength. But nice job by the Colliders offense to storm down the field and get back into this game after falling down 10-0. Now they need a stop. Cheeseborough just lofted over his head. Just such a bad throw, and yet completed. So Terrell Pryor is going to run for it, and he breaks 1 tackle and manages to slide. That's also frustrating. He's going long. He's got a man, and they batted away. Leonard Miles couldn't hold on to it through that contact, but that was a potentially dangerous play for us. And now we have a sack, and that is Carlos Rich. He is getting his first start of the season. He's a rookie, and he's starting in place of Sean Arnold, who's really done nothing so far this year after having 19 sacks last year. So I don't know what the deal is with Sean Arnold. I think maybe all of the offensive linemen have caught up to him, and he's kind of plateaued at 70, and other right tackles are still improving, so most of the guys he goes against are better than him. There's Morgan Montoya again. Look at him go. Morgan Montoya getting loose, and Ahmad Mark finding him. He's going to him again, and that's going to put them in field goal range. They're going to call their final timeout and not even going to attempt another play. They're just going to make sure they tie this game up going into halftime, and Andy Gary does just that. So storming back from 10-0 when there was like a minute 46 left in the half, and the home crowd is getting back into this. So Jamel Brand will run out the half. And we go into the locker room all knotted up at 10. So the Colliders having to actually use some strategery to overcome the strength of this defense that the Krakens present. Phil Brown returns this one out past the 20. Ahmad Mark is going to hand this one to Davis. And again, they're trying to run out of a kind of a 3 or 4 wide receiver set to try to get some of those linebackers off the field. But there's Eddie Cook again with 3 tackles. Of course, Madden doesn't know how to count. You might have noticed that Jake Jones had 1 tackle, and then he tackled someone again and had 1 tackle again. All right, look at that. Morgan Montoya going up for it, and he's already got 143 yards receiving. Unbelievable. Mark to throw, and he's throwing into coverage, and that one is intercepted. I think he should have taken a breath. They were in field goal range, but he got a little too excited there, and that coverage came quickly from the safety. Just didn't see it. Ousley, who's the backup free safety, intercepting that one. So now 10-10, and Jamel Brand and company. Look, Jake Jones has 1 tackle again. They're going to start from the 14. They get about a yard there. And now Terrell Pryor to throw. There's another freaking meatball, and he's going to take it the distance. That's the tight end, Bram Patton. How is my secondary not able to get to these terrible passes? All right, so just like that, the interception leads to a huge play to the tight end. And we are down now, 17-10, after fighting so hard to get back into this game. Will Davis will field this one. They had to cut Robbie Ivy. So now Will Davis is pressed into action as a returner as well. He's up to 16 yards rushing. That's more than 2 per carry. Mark to throw, and look who it is. Montoya just cooking his man. 5 catches for 166 yards, and if they're going to keep putting him on single coverage, it looks like the corner is expecting safety help that's not coming. And that's a dangerous pass, but Gillespie catches it. So a failed interception attempt on the defense and 33-yard gain for the tight end. Parodi cannot catch that one. He was led right into a linebacker. Ahmad Mark changing the play. He's got a lot of men in the box, so he's going to a pass instead. And he's got Morgan Montoya. Bounces off of one man, and then he is tackled into the end zone for a touchdown. What a game for Morgan Montoya. He is lighting it up. Whether it's the deep ball or the slant play, he's just showing signs of being a #1 receiver. He has not eclipsed 1,000 yards in the season yet, but this might be the year. This might be the 3rd-year wide receiver breakout year. It certainly helps that he has a competent quarterback now. Game tied. And let's take a look at Morgan Montoya's numbers because he's going crazy. 6 catches, 183 yards, and a touchdown, averaging 30 yards per reception. All right, back on defense, trying to stop the meatball man, Terrell Pryor. Fumble and recovered by the offense. So 2nd and 10. And here comes the rush. He gets it away. That looks like Jaquez Price on the tackle. Jaquez Price is back in his starting role after Travis Thomas didn't seem to be getting much done. And there's Javik O'Neal on the corner blitz with the sack. And we are heading into the 4th quarter, tied at 17 apiece, as Chris Glass will punt this away, and Brown and the Colliders will have good field position to start this drive. So can they do anything with it? Will Davis tries the left side, and that does not work. Wilson is there to take him down. But they're going to go long again. Who else? Morgan Montoya beats his man. That's a touchdown. Just like that. Morgan Montoya just absolutely torching this secondary. Andy Gary puts it through, and they go up 24-17, which I believe is their first lead of the game. Mark has 310 yards and 3 touchdowns already. What a game for him. So Pryor goes back to work, and they're going to give it to Brand, and he's got nowhere to go there with Jamel Walker making the tackle for no gain. So 2nd and 10. Pryor to throw. He's got Harrell, who had that big jumping touchdown earlier. 3rd and 3. And a fake to Brand. He's got time, but he throws a meatball, and this time Walker is ready for it. Intercepted by Jamel Walker. Finally, Terrell Pryor pays for his sins. So now they've got the ball just outside of the red zone. Hand to Davis. He's got the corner. And nice little run. Will Davis is up to 23 yards rushing. And he gets it again. Makes a cut, and he's gone up the middle for a touchdown. Will Davis showing some shiftiness there in the hole. Nice play by him, and just like that, the Colliders fight back and give themselves a 14-point lead with just 3 minutes left in the game. Will Davis has 36 yards and a touchdown to his name now. Culver City trying to get back into this one before it gets all the way away from them. Terrell Pryor, with time, gets hit as he throws, and that one falls harmlessly to the turf. 2nd and 10. Pryor again, and he's got Brand, and Brand is loose up the middle. 17-yard gain for the running back. He has been effective today. Cheeseborough with another pass defensed instead of a interception. And Najee Hobbs, the reserve defensive tackle, they're going to give him a sack as Terrell Pryor tried to run for it, and Hobbs said, "No thank you, sir." 3rd and 10. Pryor under pressure, and Javik O'Neal bats that one away. They're going to go for it on 4th and 10. What choice do they have? And Pryor gets hit, and that's going to be a turnover on downs. So Ahmad Mark, with 2 minutes left in the game, he'll hand it to Will Davis. Cy Collins in on the tackle. And looking at everyone stacking the line, play fake, and Mark can't get it away. So now it's 3rd and 17. That defense had called timeout, and they're just going to give it to Will Davis, get some of that yardage back, and they'll kick the field goal with Andy Gary. To go up 17 points, they've now doubled up the Krakens with 1:47 left. 34-17 is the score. And Pryor looking for a man. That one's out of bounds. So Pryor in the shotgun now. And he's got it over the middle to Patton, but that is stopped quickly. 3rd and 3. There's a first down to Harrell. And so Pryor just trying to push this ball down the field, or he should be anyway. There's another pass to Harrell. He's breaking tackles. So Harrell is hurt on the play. I was going to criticize him for going to the flat there, but ended up being a pretty big play. Pryor's going long. I don't think anyone's there. So 2nd and 10. Elijah Wright tries to blitz and fails. Javik O'Neal comes up for the tackle. 3rd and 2. Pryor with lots of time. So they're dropping most in coverage, and that one's batted away. It looked like Jaquez Price was on it. So 4th and 2, another 4th down conversion attempt. They'll fake it to Brand. They'll throw it to Brand. Brand will get it, and Preston Mahan makes probably a touchdown saving tackle there. So Ahmad Mark having a good game, but Terrell Pryor having a better game than he ought to. Pryor, after spiking it, he's going to throw. He's got a man. I don't think he stayed in bounds. They're going to wave him off. So 3rd and 10. Pryor just misses the man going across the middle, so now we see another 4th down attempt. All day to throw, but then he throws it way out of bounds, and so that'll be 19 seconds. Mark wants more, and he had Parodi open, but he overthrew him. And really, I should be bringing in Josiah Reed here, who's got a better arm. Oh, too far for... That was too far for him. So another last-second interception to hurt the stats. I shouldn't have done that. Should have just downed it, but this one's up and batted down, and that'll be the game. So a good game for Ahmad Mark, a great game for Morgan Montoya, who is the player of the game. 7 catches, 235 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Unreal numbers. And I think that strategy worked, of trying to keep the linebackers off the field and just testing that secondary. So the secondary did win twice. I wish I hadn't thrown that second interception, but what are you going to do? Ended up with an okay game for Will Davis. And A.J. Muse had that early touchdown in the first half. And usually Ahmad Mark is able to spread it out a little bit more than this, but it was the Morgan Montoya show today. On defense, Jaquez Price coming in and starting and getting back to his old ways. 7 total tackles. That, I think, settles it. He has been our leading tackler for a couple seasons now. I thought, with him not progressing and Travis Thomas going up to meet him at a 78 overall, I thought maybe it's time to switch, changing of the guard. Looks like I was wrong about that, and Jaquez Price is still the play. So Sean Arnold only had a pass deflection in there getting in. I don't know what to do with that guy. I mean, let's see how Carlos Rich plays. If Rich continues to get to the quarterback, at least cause some pressure, then he'll keep his job. We'll have to see. But Sean Arnold really wasn't getting it done so far this year. All right. So, great game. That one was pretty hard, actually, until we took him out at the end. Morgan Montoya, though. What a game. What a guy. Tell me your thoughts below, and we'll see you next time. Peace.